Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much for joining us on this magnificently warm, but not too hot Sunday evening. Things are finally beginning to cool down over here on my end, so you best believe I'm happy about that. And it is a nice, cool, as Gina just on a nice, cool Sunday evening. Stepped outside in my tank top, and I'm like, oh, it feels nice and warm. We've had a couple of thunderstorms here in Las Vegas, so it has been quite the weather change. I'll tell you that. We got plenty to talk about this particular show here. A couple of every so often stories come out, and I'm like, all right, I'll set those aside and I'll talk about them, right? And then for whatever reason, I end up forgetting. I'm like, fuck, should I talk about them last week? So I pulled up a couple of those stories that I want to talk about that not many people are talking about it, and we definitely want to be mentioning those things, of course. I don't need to remind you guys, but everybody knows it's fight week, officially fight week this weekend, Saturday, the 13th of September. Canelo Crawford. Usually, I'll say only on pay-per-view, but it's not. It's going to be free on Netflix. I do live in Vegas, and I do intend on going down to Allegiant Stadium, or where a lot of these media slash public workouts, public events will be taking place at Fountain Blue here in Las Vegas. So keep an eye out for content on our YouTube channel, anything, their grand arrival, the media workout, maybe even the weigh-in, if I can make it down to the weigh-in. I know they won't let me in with my camera and my mic and all that shit, but I'll bring my phone and I'll record something for you guys. So I'll have some sort of content for you guys this week. So please keep an eye out for that, which we'll be talking about here momentarily. That's going to be one of the topics. And then a lot of other stuff that happened. Yes, unfortunately, this has been the last couple of weekends have been pretty slow as far as fights go. But there's always stories, right? We want to talk about David Benavidez saying that Turkey told him that Canelo, that he can get Canelo on the very last fight of his 4-fight deal with Riyadh season. Don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's going to be something we're going to be talking about. The unfortunate announcement of another yet exhibition fight, in this case, Mayweather versus Mike Tyson, that we're going to be talking about. That is on the docket. Jaime Munguia's statement on his false positive that we're going to be briefly going over and maybe dissecting that a little bit more. A bunch of other topics, a couple of other ones, I should say. Possibly we might get Lamont Roach and Isaac Cruz at the end of this year. So those are the primary stories we're going to be talking about. So we got plenty to talk about. But before we get into all of those details, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How's your Sunday evening going?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? Going good, dude. As everyone knows, it's the start of the NFL season was today. Well, NFL Sunday was today. The start of NFL Sundays, because the season actually started on Thursday night. But the Raiders are 1-0
All right.
today.
We're off to a good start.
Off to a great start. Went to New England,
Mhm.
of all places, and beat the Patriots. Good game. Raiders look good. Defense a little shaky still. They held up though. They held their own. But yeah, it's a big win for us, dude. We don't get a lot. Dude, we don't get a lot of 10 a.m. wins, right?
Mhm.
For some reason, the Raiders, when they play in the East Coast, we had a real bad record. Real bad. Like, I want to say 1-30.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. It's a real bad record in the East Coast at 10 a.m. So we got over that hurdle today. Then I want to say our record on opening day wasn't good, you know? So we jumped a lot of hurdles today that the Raiders usually don't. So very, very happy with the performance of the team, and not only the team, but the coaching, Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, the quarterback. They did real good today. So here we go. Start of a new
All
season.
right. So things look promising. Like, it wasn't just like, oh damn, they barely eked out a victory.
Yeah, no.
Thing looked good. Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
there's some promise behind this.
Yeah. There were some shaky spots, but for over most of the game, the Raiders were dominating that game. Yeah.
Based off of this game, I mean, if you can guesstimate at this point, I know obviously it's very early on, but how far do you think they'll get? Like just an estimation, like based off of what you see, based off everyone else in their division. How far do you think they can get this season?
The, I I'm gonna say the best the Raider fan can hope for is a wild card spot, and that's only because of our division.
Mm,
See, the Raiders don't get enough credit for, or the AFC West doesn't get enough credit for how hard the division is. But right now, in particular, bro, all the coaches are Super Bowl coaches. All the quarterbacks are like top 10. Like it's really bad right now in our division. We got nothing but elites. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So this is the year that that will be the toughest for whoever makes it out of the AFC West. Is probably going to be a real contender going into the playoffs, just because of the landscape of what they have to get through to get to the playoffs. So yeah.
mm. Interesting. Well,
Well, look at the Chargers. The Chargers beat the Chiefs. Did you see that one?
no, I didn't see that at all. I
Yeah.
didn't. Pretty follow up.
Chargers beat the Chiefs. So that was a big upset already, but they
Mm,
have Harbaugh now. Jim Harbaugh is coaching the Chargers now. So better coach, better results, right?
yeah, right
Came
off the
out.
bat, you see the results right off the bat,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
So
Well,
that's a good thing, dude. The Niners won. That sucked. That kind of brought my Sunday back down. I was up
that kind of
here.
like
And it's how they won too.
uh,
Very end. That Niner bullshit at the very end of the game. I don't know. I
like
don't even
field
know
goals
if
or
it was
what
the
was it?
last drive. No, I think.
Oh,
Oh fuck. What was it? Oh man, I'd have to call it. It's an interception or a pick. Defensive turnover. Like at the end.
mm,
It's like whatever. Here they
uh,
always find a way. Those guys, except in the Super Bowl. I had to throw that in there. 0-3. What the fuck?
yeah, like that kind of messed up my Sunday. But y'all didn't go except for the Super Bowl, motherfuckers.
Yeah, no,
Big fans.
they definitely are the regular season champions. Those guys.
Regular season champions. That's a good one. That's well, at least that made your Sunday to some degree, right? I mean, granted, yeah, they won, but that definitely made the Sunday a lot brighter, right? And that's
Yes.
it's gonna be a regular thing. Like if you guys remember on our last show with our homeboy, rest in peace, Lee Honish, we would talk about football on Fight Net Radio. I never followed it, quite frankly. I still don't really follow football, but we have ourselves our expert here in Andrew Lapichet. So we'll definitely get our fix of some football before the show gets cracking. Because, quite frankly, I don't follow it. But hey, you know what? I live in Vegas. I know the Raiders. I should have known that they won today. I wasn't really paying much attention to that, but I should have known. And as I mentioned it last week, and I think it was the week before, I do intend to go to a Raiders game at some point. And if this season they're doing pretty damn good, fuck it, why not? All right. Well, as I mentioned earlier, again, you guys probably don't need a reminder. It is officially fight week. Canelo versus Crawford will go down this Saturday at Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas, live and free. Well, free for those who have a Netflix subscription, which is the majority of the fucking world anyway. So, quite frankly, it's going to be free for the majority of people. As I mentioned, I will be trying to get as much content as I possibly can for you guys. So keep an eye out on our YouTube channel. We normally do a show on Wednesdays, and we intended to do one this week with all the bets and stuff that I got that's most recent. But it just so happens that there is going to be a media workout, or I guess open to the general public, here in Las Vegas for the undercard guys. Basically everybody but the main event, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to head down to the Fontainebleau, which is where they're going to be holding it. And I'm going to get some footage for you guys and get something to post here on our YouTube channel. So we're actually going to delay our Wednesday show to Thursday. So keep that in mind. Mark your calendars, set your alarms. We will be doing our final, Canelo Crawford countdown show on Thursday as opposed to Wednesday. So just keep an eye out for that. And of course, like I mentioned, make sure to check out our YouTube channel, because there's going to be some content in there for you guys. Some sort of live and, reporting live, recorded what is it with there's a certain way that the show cops would state it. They're like live in person. There's another phrase that they use whenever they're on location. That's what it was. It's like recorded live on location with the Los Angeles Police Department. Well, this is what I'm going to be doing, y'all, from Allegiant Stadium and wherever the hell they're going to be hosting these events. But earlier in the week, Andrew sent me a text of him watching the first episode of the countdown for Canelo Crawford. I watched probably 2/3 of it. I didn't finish watching the rest, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not 24/7. But Andrew, what did you think of it? Was it enough to get you guys get the blood going? Be like, oh shit, this thing is really hyping me up, or is it like, damn, these guys are really missing the mark?
It reminded me of what it used to be, right? It was a regular 24/7. Started off real slow, just kind of doing the whole media, or what was it, the press tour, things like that. No, it was I liked it. It's what they needed. It really is. It's not for us. It's for the casuals. It's just to keep getting a sort of like a commercial out there that the fight is going to take place. So I liked it. There was I wanted to talk about something you had just said.
Mhm.
I heard the casino Fontainebleau.
Yeah, I'm always mixing up. Is it Fontainebleau or Fountainebleau?
And it doesn't
However
matter
the hell
what.
it is.
I have
But
no
it's that
idea.
one.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Fontainebleau, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to roll with. And why that one? This is the biggest fight. Look, I hear that place is hurting, right? That's all you
Yeah.
ever hear about this place.
A lot of people go in there and it's like super empty. I have yet to actually go in there. It's a gorgeous casino from the outside. It's very glimmery and shimmery, but I have yet to go inside. But from what I've heard, they're kind of dead.
Kind of dead. That is really weird that the fight that's going to bring a lot of the high rollers, you're not even going to have it at one of the high rolling casinos. The mega fight of boxing, the fight of the century. Like, do you think De La Hoya and Trinidad would have been put at the casino that's not making money?
No, definitely
No,
not. No,
right?
absolutely not. No.
It'd be the MGM. It'd be Caesars. It'd be the big boys, right? This is what it always used to be back in the day. I find that really weird. I hope that that's just like, bro, where are the grand arrivals? These guys aren't staying at the Fontainebleau, are they? Where is the grand arrivals taking place at, Miguel?
Funny that you mentioned that, because I will tell you exactly where they will be held at. Because according to the Ring magazine and their Instagram page, they have a whole schedule of events scheduled for the rest of the week, right? Well, starting with Tuesday, September 9th, their grand arrivals will be at the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas on the South Lobby.
Whoa.
It goes the same for the open workout or the media workout, which will be taking place at the Northeast Lobby of that same casino. Besides that, the final press conference, which we can't go into because it's specifically for press, that one does take place at T-Mobile. Okay, getting better. And then, of course, the weigh-in itself will be taking place at T-Mobile Arena. All right, cool, not half bad. And then, of course, the fight in Allegiant Stadium. But the grand arrivals and the media workout will be taking place at the whatever blue. Yeah, it's going to be there specifically. Yikes.
Yikes is right. Bro, I need to know a location. Where is this place located on the strip?
It's near or behind, I should say, Resort World. If you're familiar with Resort World, that's one of the newer casinos. I'm not precisely sure where exactly where it's located. The few
Give
times,
me a distance of how far does it take me to get back to the MGM Grand, the Mandalay Bay, sort of where the fight is going to be. How far are we away from Allegiant Stadium? Say that little area.
All right, far from Allegiant Stadium, you said, right?
Yeah. Let's start with that.
All right, so it is roughly 10 minutes.
All right, is there a mile? Is it a half a mile?
Let me see here. It's about a little over 4 miles.
4 miles.
Yeah,
driving. So that's not. Yeah, so you're definitely not walking to the fight, right? Like like if you're staying at the MGM, you could walk over to the what's the hockey ring?
T-Mobile Arena.
T-Mobile, right? Even if you're probably staying at the Mandalay, you might not want to do it, but you could probably still walk to T-Mobile from there too. I've done it. I've walked. It's a distance, but it can be done. What the fuck is going on? Hey, listen, His Excellency. Hey, you guys spend big money. Where's the big money at putting our fighters at the Fontainebleau? They're like, Hey, they're all. You guys are special. You're like, how do you say that? You guys are like the first ones that are gonna stay in the president's suite. It'd be the first time that they're actually used. It's gonna be Canelo. Cool.
Yeah,
90,
where's the
$99 a night.
where's the Grand Arrival? It's at the Quality Inn down the street here. It's at the Best Western, right across the street from the fucking, you know.
You remember when they had them driving into New York in regular cars? Who came in a taxi? One other guy walked. Didn't Raleigh walk to the fight?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is cool. Hey, Raleigh, I dig it. That was fucking hard. But now that I see my boys got Canelo and Crawford at the Fontainebleau, I'm like, did you choose to walk? What's His Excellency like? No, no money for you. We don't even think you're gonna win. You just
Yeah. Raleigh's like, so what car do I get? Like, what car? Who told anybody about a car? Like, get walking, buddy. You better hurry up because they're announcing you right now. You better get in the ring right now. But that does bring up another point. It's not taking place at the MGM. It's not taking place at Mandalay Bay or any one of those, more popular arenas. And because of that, a lot of these media events are not taking place at one of these casinos, specifically the MGM, which we're most familiar with. Well, I saw a picture recently of the MGM Grand Lobby that normally has a makeshift ring in the center where that lion is in the lobby. And does it say, oh, Canelo Crawford? No, it says Canelo VMC, his cocktail drink. Crawford nowhere to be seen. Now, again, maybe the MGM had nothing to do with this, right? This is probably coming out of Canelo's own pocket, He's like, Canelo's like, no, fuck that. You know what? We're not having it at the MGM, no biggie, but you best believe we're still going to have a fucking ring that says Canelo Viva Mexico Cabrones, which is the name of his canned cocktail drink. Nothing to do with Crawford there. Basically not even announcing his own fight, basically just announcing his own cocktail drink as Canelo has. I've never seen this before. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of crazy that it's not happening at one of these major casinos, but rather this kind of fledgling, barely trying to get off the ground type of Fontainebleau casino, which was right next to Resort World, which has hosted a few fights, actually. I've actually been to Resort World a couple of times. I think it was, who the hell was it? I think it was Teofimo Lopez when he first moved up to 140 pounds. I saw he fought there, and then I think Miguel Burchell fought there. So it's like they're trying to get some, buzz there. They've been trying to, at least for the last few years. But the Fontainebleau has been pretty dead, unfortunately. I've seen a lot of posts of people entering the casino and it being like really, really dead. So maybe, there's some more buzz around there. This brings some more people to that casino. But it is strange that it's not happening on one of the major ones, the way it has before, because I'm so used to that. I know I even have a damn certain parking spot. I know how to get to the MGM. I know how to get to the Mandalay Bay if need be, because I have these routes, because I've gone there so many times. I've never gone to fucking Fontainebleau, so now I have to figure out how to do all that shit. But definitely kind of weird, huh?
Definitely weird. I was trying to look up if they're attached to the casinos under some kind of umbrella ownership, partnership. I can't see that. It says that they have their own owner. Doesn't say anything about MGM properties or Caesars properties, anything like that affiliated with these guys. So MGM went after the guy that they know. That's Canelo. Sorry, they have Canelo fans on speed dial, bro. You know the MGM does. All right, they're like, hey, Canelo's in town. You want to stay at our hotel? We'll even drive you over there. It's a lot shorter. Where's that Fontainebleau? 10 minutes away by car. We're 4 minutes. We'll have you there faster, and we'll transport you. And I'm sure a lot of Canelo fans are going to be at the MGM Grand. That's just, I think that's why you see him in the lobby, and actually not the fight, because they didn't get it right. So it'd kind of be dumb for them to be promoting. I don't know why Vegas is like that, but they don't like helping each other out, right? So in their eyes, in my eyes, it's not dumb. You think, you get a little of their fans come to your place. Why not give them a lifeline and go, hey, yeah, they're throwing the fight, but you can come here too, right? And put a fight poster on the damn ring. But they're not doing that. We've seen the casinos do this to each other before, even with, Dana White and the UFC, because of their partnership back in the day. So they do shit like this. So I'm guessing they're not helping Fonta out because they're not under the umbrella. I don't like it.
But they would be kind of misleading people, no? I mean, if they do announce the fight, that's the first thing that comes to mind to most people. It's like, oh shit, the MGM's going to have a fight. But then they don't realize that it's not going to be there. I guess that would kind of maybe confuse folks.
If the fight was on closed circuit, I think you would see fight posters up, right? But because they're not putting up a closed circuit, they don't want to help out. It would, and yes, you're right that it would be confusing. But back in the day, there was fight posters all up and down that strip because everybody was showing the fight. It was on a closed circuit, and mostly all the casinos, bars, whatever, you know. I think people would be confused until you ask someone, "Hey, where's the fight at?" And the fight really is at Allegiant Stadium. That's what everyone should know. I'm just a little like, I don't know. Everyone's going to get off the airport and drive over to have the Uber drop them off at the Fontainebleau.
Now, mind you, usually with fights this big, they don't have the the main event guys there. Like, yes, there will be the grand rival, obviously, right? But normally when they have it at the MGM, they walk in through that lobby where the valet is, and then they go directly to their room. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do here. I don't think they're gonna be staying at the Fontainebleau. I mean, maybe they will. I don't know, but. Besides that, the day after, when they have the media workouts that's open to the general public, we're not going to have Crawford and Canelo in the ring there. It's just too much of a fucking, Beatlemania episode. So they won't do that, but they'll have the rest of the card there. So it definitely is pretty strange. Like, after they come to this makeshift stage for the grand arrivals, they'll say a few words, and then they usher them off to their room. They're going to be staying at the Fontainebleau, huh? Well, that's what
I do believe Crawford will. Crawford's got hella kids. I think MGM was like, we're not taking all those babies on one floor. No, I'm just kidding. No, we got this hotel that doesn't have a lot of people staying at it right now. You guys could have a whole entire floor to yourselves. Just playing.
I saw that first episode of 24/7, guys, or with Countdown. You guys can have the whole floor to yourself, all right?
You're wrestling with your boys, throwing them on the beds. We already know. We already know what's going to happen, dude.
Yeah, we've seen this before. We've seen what you've done to other rooms, guys. We've been told. So let's go ahead and just damage these rooms over here, please. But definitely strange.
No, I definitely think Crawford stays. Canelo probably heads back to the MGM. If all of his powerhouse supporters, the big guys are at the MGM, I do not see him being like, no, I got to stay at the Fontainebleau tonight. Bullshit. They're out the back door and they're over at the MGM. You'll probably see Reynoso sitting at the bar around 2 a.m. Just playing with them. I'm just playing, even though I'll never forgive him. I lost money. That's why I can't forgive him.
Was it for Floyd? Was it the Floyd fight?
Yeah, it was for Floyd, bro. The fuck's the trainer doing at the bar at like 2-something in the morning? Bro, the bar is like already getting empty, and he's still over there talking really loud. Like he's that guy. He's that drunk guy in the corner. And it wasn't even in the corner, but you know what I mean. It was like that's Reynoso. Bro, why is Reynoso still out here? Man?
Eddie or oh jeez.
Yeah. No, not the dad.
He's got more sense than that.
Of course. Come on, bro.
Oh. He's
the one that built the building, right? The whole gym is on the father, most likely, and the son took it afterwards, right? So yeah, it just wasn't a good look, dude. We all seen it. We all kind of talked about it leaving, and look at the next day we lose. It was like, motherfucker, man. Never seen Roger at the bar at 2 a.m. Know that.
Watch him be like, oh, you'll never guess what game plan we got. Oh, please do tell. It's like,
we're in a box.
Yeah. We're gonna find. We got an answer for that Philly shuffle. We got an answer for it. Okay, Eddie.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, I think Crawford stays at the Fontainebleau. I think Canelo probably goes back to the MGM. I find it very strange that this fight is being held at the Fontainebleau because of the rumors of where that casino is, and it's really not under a huge umbrella. Like they must have paid big money to get this fight. Hopefully, that's all I can go on right now, right? I don't want to say that Caesars was like, no, we're out. We're too far in debt. We don't have any money for shit. And MGM was like, no, you guys haven't made us any money in a while. I hope that's not the answer. And the answer is Fontainebleau is so fucking desperate that whatever pennies in the $1 billion piggy bank that they have, they gave a lot of it to this fight to try to get some kind of people in. Look, you guys, if you've never been there, a big fight can bring easy 20,000 to your casino. Easy. So were these the stories that they were told? You know, maybe the MGM was like, look, you guys, we're gonna throw you a fucking bone here and leave this one on the table. See, I can flip this, make it sound like it's better. It's not that we suck.
Not that desperate.
Not that Turkey thinks of his guys as lesser people and is like, nah. How much does that room cost? We'll do this one.
Yeah.
Crawford on my left side. Or no, the right side.
On the right side. There you go.
Right side, yeah.
On the right side.
Crawford on the right, Canelo on the left.
Just like that video where he goes up to Crawford and he's like, hey, no retirement after this, right? No retirement. Like, okay, buddy. I know what you're doing in this fucking gym, helping him.
Kind of telling him, huh?
Dude, I mean, I'll send you the video of like people already, suspecting conspiracy theories left and right, but talking about, like return the favor, this and that. It's like, what the fuck is going on in this conversation? I'll send it to you through Instagram. It's pretty nuts. But regardless, yes, it seems as though this is where it's going to take place. For those of you listening, by all means, head down to the fountain. We're giving them some free advertisement because they probably need it. The Canelo ring, or this ad for his cocktail drink is at the MGM. I mean, that in and of itself is a pretty good confirmation that that's where he's going to be staying, right? It doesn't look like he's going to be staying in no fucking Fontainebleau. It looks like he's going to go back to his probably a certain room that he's always had at the MGM for that one. So it's going to be ushered off.
You know another problem with this, Miguel? On that list that you have, the Fontainebleau is only holding the press conference and the grand arrivals, you're saying?
The grand arrivals and the open workout, the media workout. The final press conference and the weigh-ins will be at T-Mobile Arena.
Now, on the open workout, is that the main event, guys?
The main card, the main event, no. Like literally the main event, like Crawford Canelo, no. It looks like it's going to be everybody but them. There's actually going to be quite a bit going on Wednesday. There are actually going to be fights at like some ballroom there on Wednesday starting at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So there at the Fontainebleau, whatever, there's going to be some fights at 2 p.m. Some like, I guess, undercard guys, or I don't know, not undercard guys, but like some no-name people. And then when that's over, I think 5 or 6 is when the media workout starts. So I have to assume it's going to be not the fucking same people, right? It's going to be the other fucking, it's going to be the people on the card. Essentially, Vargas Jr. and Callum Walsh, and then below them, everybody on the main card there. I suspect that's how it's going to be. But the ad itself or the Instagram post doesn't even specify who it's going to be. I'm just assuming it's going to be everybody on the main card minus the main event.
There's a lot of growing pains going to happen here this week. Turkey's going to learn that when you have a main event at the caliber of Canelo versus Crawford, nobody gives a shit about the undercard. Especially when you stretch it the way these two guys tried to stretch this undercard. And I'm talking about Sella and Turkey. There's going to be fight. That room's going to be empty. I'm sorry. Tuesday night. What did you say? Wednesday night?
Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night. Night? Actually, hold on. Wednesday afternoon. It's at 2 p.m.
Yeah, so you can't even expect the locals. They're working still. You know what I mean? Like my Willie, he loves boxing, right? He'll have to be working at 2 p.m., Miguel. He won't be at the fight. And he loves boxing. You know what I'm saying? So you cut yourself on even some of the locals being able to watch this thing unless they want to take off. But who's going to take off to go watch some fucking bum fight at a ballroom? That's something you do with the boys on a Friday, Thursday night when you first fly in. You're just getting into the groove, right? You're getting into the fight week.
You don't take time off of work for that.
No. And then on the Fontainebleau side, Miguel, me and you have been to some of the biggest fights of this century, right? We've been to some real big fights. I know they're saying this one's big, but we've been to some, ones that are probably going to trump this at the end of the day. Do you ever remember the grand arrivals having 5,000, 10,000 people sitting in that lobby waiting? I'm going to say no. Maybe a grand maybe for Hatton versus Floyd, it looked packed, but there was never like, oh shit, man, this is fucking insane. There's so many people here on Tuesday afternoon.
No, not that I can remember. No.
Not that I can remember. So you're telling me these guys purchased the Grand Arrival and a workout, and we all know workouts don't really bring shit. I've been to many fucking undercard workouts in the lobby of the MGM Grand and been able to walk around the thing, taking pictures from every angle, doing whatever I wanted. It's not. Those are bad investments. And this is from a company that we've been told numerous times have made really bad investments. That's why they're in the position that they're in. I'm talking the fonts of blue. And here we are right now. You're telling me that the only two things these guys purchased was the Grand Arrival and a workout. I was like, damn, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know. There's going to be some growing pains. I don't see it being too successful. I don't see a lot of people being at this Grand Arrival. Maybe Terrence Crawford's fans show up. Maybe Canelo's fans have been here many times. Crawford really ain't even that guy in their eyes. Look at how Canelo's kind of portrayed Crawford through this whole thing as, were you thinking about him? Were you ever thinking about this fight, Canelo? Nah, this fight. This is him. Nah, who is he fought? Right? Like he's totally disrespected him the whole time. Did you want I didn't want this. 200 million. You pay me. Right? He's had some very fucking straightforward answers that Crawford was never on his fucking radar. He's doing this simply because of the money that Turkey offered, and his fans know that. You don't think his fans, they know Spanish? I don't. I'm giving you a half-ass. You know, they probably heard interviews where he was way more detailed, and they're like, yeah, fuck Terrence Crawford. He's going to knock him out like Amir Khan. Right?
Yep.
Every other small guy he's faced. Except Floyd, but that was a different time. And Floyd and Terrence, even though they're both great, are not the same fighter. Still apples and oranges. You can't just say because they're great, they're both going to have the same outcome, right? So that's about the only guy that he's not been able to defeat that you would say he was bigger than. And yeah, I think,
and not to mention he did have to, drain an additional 2 pounds. I think
and he was young.
He was 23, and again, not making excuses. Even if he wasn't at that, even if it was at his regular weight, I don't think at that age he would have been able to beat Floyd anyway. But he still had to drain from 154, where he was at, to additional 2 pounds, 152. Fucker had to come in dry as a son of a bitch, So obviously Canelo knew that Floyd is the A side, and he's going to, if he wants the fight, he's going to have to conform and concede to whatever these demands are, and he did it. So
they could have waited.
Yeah, they could have waited.
Waited. They like blaming, and I thought it was disgusting how Canelo got out of the plane and hugged Richard Schaefer first. He's hugging a snake there. Canelo thinks he's smart, but he's not smart hugging a man like Richard Schaefer there. Richard Schaefer was trying to take food out of his family's mouth, just like he was trying to take food out of De La Hoya's. They never got Canelo over to PBC, right? So everything that Al Heyman and Schaefer was trying to do to De La Hoya was ultimately hurting Canelo too. And you're over there hugging him? Unless you knew about it and stood with Oscar out of loyalty, but knowing that all these things were about to take place, and that's a whole nother story, but I don't think he did know about it. I think you look really stupid hugging that man coming out of that plane. That dude will stab you in the fucking back in a heartbeat. You look at what he did to Oscar.
Yeah, and I'm sure he probably already did. I mean, how often do we see? I mean, where is he at now? Pro Bellum or wherever the hell Schaefer is at now.
It is real weird, bro.
Yeah, so I would not be surprised if he did do something to Canelo already. And I was like, okay, I find out what this guy's about, and then backed away because we don't see them together, right? I mean, that's just kind of how it is. So back on the first episode of this thing, there was something I wanted to mention. Oh, is this a little too late? Like, should they have put like the first episode out maybe a little bit earlier? Because it's cool. It's on. I don't remember how soon before the Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fight that Netflix had their countdown special. But it seems like it's a little. I mean, well, you sent me the text yesterday. I think it was. I don't remember yesterday or Friday.
There's already 2 episodes though, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when the first one came out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna check
already
that second
2
episode
episodes, and I'm guessing that the third one is
this week sometime.
this week.
Mm.
So that would make it exactly like a 24/7. They basically showed the whole fight process, right?
Mm.
And then they can go like Showtime and give us that little after the
Yeah,
fight
all access, whatever the
that
hell.
no one cared about.
Okay.
You've either lost your money or your prediction was wrong. Do you really give a shit that the guy's crying with his family in the back room?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, even if you won, even if your prediction was right, it's like, oh, I don't give a fuck. I cash
Yeah.
out my ticket. I don't give a shit. I'm not trying to watch no other episode. I don't give a rat's ass, man. I got a ticket to go cash in, fool.
Yeah.
I don't give a rat's ass about no.
They're
After
all,
show.
how can we be the same but add something?
Yeah, it's like we all know the results. We all watched the fight. We don't need anything additional beyond that. We don't need to be going into these people's locker rooms and shit like that. But all right, well, that's intriguing, right? You know, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be some video of me at the Fontainebleau recording these guys' arrival, and you know, enjoy it for what it is. It is one of the. Let me see. Is this the second fight on this on the 4-fight deal? Right? It was Skull, and then now it's
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
So after this one, there's gonna be 2 more fights. That leads us sort of to our second story, the 4th fight on this 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season in Turkey and Canelo. Supposedly, David Benavidez. Apparently, there has been some sort of talk. This is a quote from Benavidez himself. Well, I don't say quote, but he says, David Benavidez says Turkey Al-Sheikh has told him he will fight Canelo at the end of the 4-fight contract he has with the Mexican fighter. However, Benavidez says it still comes down to Canelo, in quotes. Benavidez told Clocked and Loaded, which is this Instagram account, Turkey Al-Sheikh told me that he wants me to fight Canelo at the end of the 4-fight contract. He said that, but at the end of the day, it ultimately comes down to Canelo. So, from what I'm hearing here, it looks like regardless of this weekend's outcome, if we're going to believe whatever David Benavidez is saying here, Turkey is basically promising Benavidez that he's going to get Canelo on the end of that 4-fight deal. Some time ago, when Canelo first announced that he has this 4-fight deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh and Riyadh Season, we tried to kind of like figure out, okay, who is it going to be? Is it going to be? We knew it was going to be Crawford. It was going to be Skull. Well, at that time we said it was going to be Crawford, but we didn't really know what was going to happen. We said Skull, of course, because that was one of the first fights announced, and then we kind of thought, all right, would be kind of cool to finish it off with Benavidez. Again, it's just all speculation at that point. Now it seems like it's a real possibility. I don't know if Benavidez is willing. Well, I should say willing for the payday. You best believe he's willing to come back down to 168. Whether or not he wins after having to drain himself to make it back down there again is another story. But Andrew, do we believe this? Do you think this is legit? I mean, again, Turkey sometimes just talks out of his ass, and that fucker just says whatever the hell comes out of his mouth because nobody says no to him. But do you think this is legit? Do you think that Turkey actually told Benavidez, yeah, I'll give you Canelo in the last of his 4-fight deal?
How long are we gonna let Benavidez put this carrot in front of our face? Right? How many years has it been? How many years are we going to have to wait? I wanted to look up the light heavyweight division because, man, I swear there's guys there that he could have moved on with already, and he could have already become great on his own and stop giving us this, well, I'm just waiting for Canelo. That punk bitch Canelo don't want to fight. You see how he always talks about him? Like,
yeah, grow some balls, this and that.
Yeah, exactly. He's scared of me, you know that. Like, shit, bro. You're broke. You generate nothing. Your pay-per-views are nothing. Move the fuck on. So how long do we give the guy? Because I know there's 2 other guys in that division that could make him just as great as Canelo if he was to go and fight them and beat them and turn into the real man at light heavyweight.
Make him great, but make him the payday that he'll get with Canelo?
No. No, but his career will then at least be moved on. Like, bro, how long are you gonna sit here? Is your whole prime gonna be like, man, I almost had that fight. I waited 5 years of fighting average Joe. Boots Ennis is like, man, it's some bullshit. Boots would love to be in David Benavidez' position. Oh, if he could just say someone's name the whole time and fight nothing but be average guys, fuck out of here. Boots would never have to say another warm-up fight again. Just I'm waiting for Canelo.
Is that going to be on Benavidez's like his legacy is like almost had Canelo fight? Like that's
Yeah,
gonna be
exactly.
all the stuff, right? Kind of like whenever they have like fighters up here and they don't know what else to put on their stats, they're like one-time title challenger. Like okay, he was good enough to get a title shot one time. Okay, I suppose, right? That's gonna be that for Benavidez. Like damn near had Canelo fight in 2024.
Like for 3 years, maybe. I mean, we're going on to years right now with this one. Right? We're talking about going from like a ranking to a champion. It's been a while that he's been chasing. I'm just wondering how long we give him, because I'm ready to say he needs to move on. Canelo has bigger fish to fry, and that's what he's frying right now. Matter of fact, it's not even bigger fish. Canelo just has way more fish in his pond. He does not need you. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. Because he's not the biggest fish. He really isn't. Legacy-wise, he's not. Money, financially, he's not. David Benavidez was pushed by the PBC media more than what he's done in the ring. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about Benavidez anymore. I'm getting kind of tired of the 4-fight deal. Listen, this is what I think he did. I think he asked Turkey, so what you're saying is there's a chance that I can. And Turkey probably said, yes, David, yes, there's a chance. And by the time the 4 fights are up, you'll be one of, all right, see, let's run with that. Run with that. Post it, press it, do it all right now. Where it's not a legit answer. It's more like get out of my fucking ear answer. You know what I mean? I bet you Turkey looked at that the next day and said, oh, this fucking guy. It's not what I said. Canelo, that's not Canelo. I told him, you guys, look at how he put at the very end. But he did say it's up to Canelo. That's his little
that's as good as no. That's as good as no at this point.
Hey, Turkey said it's going to happen, but Canelo disagreed. Well, then Turkey doesn't say it's going to happen. Then Canelo says it's going to happen, and all you're doing is bullshitting your fans right now. I'm just saying. I think he has a little bit of boots in him when he's not really in it to take on the big hitters of his division, right? He's looking for that big payday. He's looking for the hits that he wants, right? Man, I could have swore he could have moved on already. I think Turkey would have paid for those fights already. And you guys know what I mean. Bivol and Better Beef. You guys know who I'm talking about. I think Turkey would have easily have made those for David because he knows he's not getting Canelo. The money's not that. It's not that expensive to get him in the ring. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Or Callum Smith for that matter. Throwing Callum. I mean, one of those kind of fights. So why not?
Yeah. So I hope Benavidez hears this. I know he won't, but I'm just saying it. I hope he hears it.
Watch the show. What are you talking about?
And moves on, Miguel. Just here's what we have to say. It says, you know what, Dad, they're right. We got to move on.
Yeah. I hope he's in front of his computer right now. Like, Dad, listen to this. Listen what these guys are saying. Like, what they like? Oh, this guy. Like, who the fuck are these clowns? These guys don't know shit. It's like, no, Dad. I think they're right. I think we should probably move on at this point because clearly, if it comes down to Canelo, then it doesn't come down to Turkey. Shit. But anyway, thought I'd throw that one in there because it was funny. It wasn't the topic of Canelo and Crawford here. But well, you know, at this point, I think we're kind of over the Benavidez Canelo, like you said, carrot on the stick that we've been dragging along for a hot minute now. All right, so one of the I guess the major news that came out of this last weekend or like late last week, we have ourselves yet another exhibition fight that will be taking place supposedly in 2026. So thankfully, we'll only get one more this year with Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. But it turns out that we're going to get Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in yet another exhibition bout. I mean, not between them, of course, but I mean, another in general. According to what I'm showing here, CSI Sports slash Fight Sports announced the exhibition fight via press release with the date and location to be determined later. So, Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in an exhibition bout, supposedly taking place sometime in 2026, without a specific date or venue yet. That's still to be determined. But yeah, that's it. We've talked about Floyd coming back. I mean, he did have the Logan Paul exhibition. He did have that. I never remember his name. Tension, the Japanese gentleman. And then he had it with that Gotti guy, where like he basically fired the ref in the middle of the fucking fight, and then had some other ref come into the ring. Floyd, I'm saying that circus debacle, and now we're gonna have another one of these type of things. I would not. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Floyd that he saw the kind of attention, money, interest Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson generated on Netflix, and I was like, no, no, no. I gotta outdo these guys. I gotta outdo these guys. Mike, what up, dude? Let's fucking do this shit. So, of course, Mike's like, oh, yeah, Floyd, what's up? Yeah, sure, let's do it. Fuck yeah, why not? 12-ounce gloves, whatever, exhibition, headgear, 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds, whatever, right? We saw Mike Tyson, as Andrew has eloquently said many times before, damn near trip and fall on his way to the fucking ring with a knee brace on for his Jake Paul fight. So that was a year ago, maybe a little under a year ago. I forget the specific date, but how much worse is he now than that for us to watch this? I most certainly hope is not going to be no damn pay-per-view bullshit. I suspect they might follow the same route and go the Netflix route, but definitely quite the circus. Andrew, what were your first thoughts when you read this unfortunate signing?
Floyd made a lot of money in his career, even though he left a lot of money on the table. The De La Hoya rematch being one of them would have generated a lot of money for Floyd. They never take it. The Manny Pacquiao debacle of making us wait so long for that fight. Do you know what that fight would have generated if they would have had a 3-fight deal? Do you know how many pay-per-views? Do you know how many pay-per-views the rematch would have brought in with Manny's phantom shoulder injury cured by God? Now the rematch or cured by God. I don't want to mock God. That's not cured by the ocean. Whatever whatever Manny says.
We're mocking his belief, not necessarily God.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever got him through it. He left a lot of money on the table. The Sergio Martinez middleweight fight that was on the table. I mean, Floyd could have been the middleweight king. Martinez is done after Chavez. His knee is shot.
Yeah, his leg is
shot, bro.
It was a sitting duck when Cotto came in.
Floyd easily could have took the 160 title and really, just really laughed in the face of everyone. He misses that opportunity. And I know I'm missing some, but Floyd, even though he made a lot of money, he missed a lot of money in his career too.
Well, supposedly he turned down $8 million to fight Margarito or something like that back in the day. Like, I thought I heard that as well.
Yeah.
This is before Margarito Cotto, of course.
Right.
I heard that as well, but yeah.
It's and now I've been screaming for a while why this man don't come back to the sport and do a 3-fight deal for $1 billion. Give it to DAZN. Give it to fucking His Excellency now. Give it to someone. Just put it out there. Starting point $1 billion, 3-fight guaranteed deal.
Yeah, name your price, homie. 3 fights, $1 billion. Let's do it.
Why is Floyd? It's like, bro, wake the fuck up. Who's really using you? Because you've had some fucking precious moments sitting in front of you. Like, really? Were you that scared of the De La Hoya rematch? You had to retire for a year and a day, then come back immediately 24 hours after that contract expired? That's how nervous you were? Or did someone tell you not to fight him and you listened? But, I mean, to go after Tyson, look, when this thing got announced, I don't want to make it a Floyd hate thing. When this fight got announced, I was a little mad at Mike. Hey, you guys.
Yeah. I felt the same way. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Hey, no, it's true though. How many times are we gonna give you a retirement check, bro? How many times are you gonna come back to us asking us to help you out? Motherfucker, we've given you like 50 million in the last 2 fights. And I say we because it is the boxing fans. It's your
Yeah.
diehard loyals that watched you when you were younger that keep coming back to watch you again. You're using us, dude. You know what, Mike? You went all over podcasts in America all over again talking about the Jake Paul fight was fixed. I was told to hold back. They gave me 10 million. Did anyone hear these
Oh yeah.
allegations by Mike?
Yep.
I only do this for my kids. I don't do this for boxing. Like, you guys, wake up. The dude's been a con artist for about 25, 30 years now when he told us on fucking Showtime he wasn't in it anymore and he's only doing it for the money. He literally got knocked out that night, told Jim Gray immediately after the fight, I don't have a heart for boxing anymore. I don't do this. I only do it for money. And here we are in 2025 like, oh, Floyd versus Tyson. Stupid. Who's the clown here? So I was a little mad at Mike for doing this fight. Floyd, he's just being Floyd. Floyd loves old guys who would, hey, that guy looks like I can clearly win this fight. Let's go. We'll take it now. Now we'll do the fight. So I'm not impressed with Floyd's selection of Mike Tyson either. Even though that's who he is, I just don't understand how you couldn't get someone to give you the bank, man. Like, Floyd, you have one more check in you, and that's because of your undefeated record. Whatever financial troubles you're in, you could have it all washed away with one signing of a pin. And that is not for a fucking exhibition. I really don't even care if that exhibition ends with Jake Paul, because I think Floyd Mayweather's deal with a legit boxing platform like a Netflix, Excellency, or DAZN is worth more than even a Jake Paul fight. I don't think Jake Paul will give him $1 billion. I don't.
You think so? You think they're willing to, like, I mean, like we've said it before, come back and sell the O, basically, like come back. You think the kind of money that I mean, again, we talked about the unfortunate position that boxing happens to be in right now with Top Rank kind of floating around. We talked about it recently with them going to Stars, right? And the dire need that they are in right now. You think the Zone, for example, would have like the kind of bankroll to be like, all right, yeah, 3 fights, 1 bill, let's fucking do it, but legitimate fucking fights. That will be more than a glorified sparring session with fucking Logan or Jake Paul.
Yes, because I don't think Jake Paul could bring him 300 million in one night. Right? You're looking at like 300 and what?
Well, nobody can. But I mean,
exactly.
The Zone would do it in multiple fights.
In 3 fights. Floyd, you got to understand, the first 2 fights are going to be fucking, should be walks in the park, right? It should be. It's only going to be the 3rd one that they're going to really see. All right, is he back? Here we go. Who's the biggest guy? Or the one that we want to either take his title and why does Floyd have to lose? Yeah. If he wins, he wins. We give him another.
It's not that he have to lose, but at his age, there's the likelihood of him losing.
We watched Bernard go a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We watched Foreman go a long time. Like, we don't know. Floyd was one of those guys that always took care of his body, from what we can tell. Right? Wasn't an alcohol user, wasn't into drugs. I heard the guy he liked candy. Floyd liked candy. I think that's what I heard on an interview. I forgot who, Kevin Hart. Someone who used to party with them. Said the dude was a fucking maniac. He could hang with anyone, never needed anything. He goes, but he did like candy. He ate a lot of candy. I did notice that about Floyd. So that's his downfall is sugar, I guess, Doesn't make you age, not terribly, right? At least on the outside.
It keeps it under wraps, right? It's a little treats, pretty much.
So I don't know what Floyd's waiting for, man. I really don't. Like, if you're really hurting for money and you need to find these stupid exhibition bouts, it's so weird that he's been out of the game for 10 years and doesn't realize that no one gave a shit about his 0. He's on no rankings for the greatest fighter of all time. He's got fighters still talking shit about him. And Roy Jones was on the air the other day talking shit about him. Yeah. Mike Tyson's always talking shit about him. You know what I mean? He's no Ali. He doesn't have the respect. What are you holding on to that O for? When you have bills that need to be paid, you got people losing their jobs. And I only say that because they went on social media saying Floyd hasn't paid us in months.
Hmm.
It's fucking weird. And you don't have to lose.
Right. Because
Fight 200 Bertos.
Yeah, I mean, and then real quick, so he's gonna come. Let's just say, let's go down that rabbit hole. He decides to do a 3-fight deal, right? Let's just say, however the fuck money it is. He's coming back at what, 147, 154?
I would think 147. Yes, 140. He never seemed like he was out of the 147 division, in my opinion. He never struggled to make it. So why not go back there? It's a very vulnerable. I mean, Floyd versus Devin Haney. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Floyd versus Mario Barrios. Like, bro.
Yeah. Floyd versus Ryan or some shit.
Ryan fucking Garcia. Like, do you know, Floyd? What are we doing? What are we talking here? Unless you know something I don't. I feel like your skill set today could match these guys, especially Barrios, who just went in the ring with the fucking 50-year-old and lost the fight.
It was a draw, technically. But
oh yeah.
I mean, in our eyes, he lost because we think Manny probably should have come away with the decision. But in the record books, it's
know what I'm saying.
I do.
He definitely didn't look like how a guy in their prime versus someone 20 years out of their prime is supposed to look. I know that. So Floyd that could be his first fight, is the WBC title.
Yeah.
Champ right out the gate.
Yeah.
And then, and seriously, there's a lot of guys that are down there. Raleigh Romero, like, I love Raleigh to death, but I'm serious, bro. I think Floyd slaps the shit out of you, too. Takes your title, right? Like, the 3-fight deal, Floyd. It's a 3-fight deal. Let his excellency parade you around. They're all going to come back. Dude, do you know how big the first fight would be?
Yeah.
Do you know what the
huge.
front?
And then the third fight, throw it with Manny. Fuck it. Yeah. Win, lose, or draw. Boom. That's the last fight. Give up your 0, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But that third fight would be humongous. We've talked about it many times before. The rematch with Manny is on the table. I'm sure it is. And Manny himself has said it. Well, as long as he signs the fucking contract, we can do it. So I'm sure it's very, very possible, especially like the end of the 3-fight deal. I'm sure it's possible.
The only reason why I think he's talking, if this thing really is on Netflix, Miguel, they are trying to go to the Jake Paul route.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I was going to ask you that too. Because, like, I mean, that's just me. I'm just trying to, make the sense out of this. He loves being in the limelight. Every time a Canelo fight comes around, he posts some video of him flashing his fucking money. Like, he just can't stay out of the limelight. When somebody else has the attention, he needs to try to get it back. Specifically, Canelo, of course. So, boom, we have ourselves a Canelo fight coming up. And what the fuck did we announce? Oh, we're talking about Floyd getting back in the ring. Well, I guess in an exhibition. But it's like anytime something like that, it picks up any momentum, somebody else, it's like, oh, Manny or Floyd is back on Instagram flashing his money, doing his thing. So I have to assume he saw the success initially. What was it on? I think it was pay-per-view, right? What's his name? Roy Jones and Mike Tyson. That was regular pay-per-view, right? So sees the exhibitions, right? Of course, he wants in it because he's done the Logan Paul ones, right? But most recently sees the success of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on Netflix. He's like, oh shit, you know what? I can do this. I'm definitely, Netflix is a place to be. Obviously now we have Canelo and Crawford is going to be on that as well. Why not? The first thing comes out of my mind, like, fuck it. You know what? I could beat these guys. His attitude. Like, man, I could do 10,000 numbers, whatever the fuck, right? I can't do a good Floyd impersonation, but that has to be it. He sees it. He's like, oh, I gotta top these guys. I gotta one up them, and he's back.
Yep. I mean, you even have Adrian Broner sitting there. If you want to talk about fixing a fight, just getting him a W, like, I'm just saying, man, like, it just seems like Floyd is really missing the ball here, and it won't be his first time. I know the guy made a lot of money. I hear it, blah, blah, blah. I heard all that. But there's many situations in his career that Mr. Al Heyman really missed the ball on him. And one of the biggest one is Manny. I'm sorry, you guys. He left probably $1 billion on the table not fighting Manny 2 more times. Do you know how much he would have dominated that second negotiation? Manny would have been his bitch at that table, bro. And the numbers would have been bigger. It's crazy. It really is on the way Floyd is holding on to the O. I don't understand it. I wish someone would get an interview and try to see if he's what is the reason. You're doing all this fighting, you're doing all this traveling, you're still working out. We see you in the gym. What are we doing all this for? And you're leaving possibly $1 billion on the table just going back to your regular job. And we have a list of opponents that you probably can walk right through.
Yeah,
Manny,
exactly.
adding Manny that list. Manny, Haney, Raleigh, Barrios. What the fuck are we doing here,
Ryan?
Floyd?
Shit, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to worry about one punch that's coming from how far away? You'd have to be extremely old for Floyd to get. Floyd's reflexes would never get touched by Ryan's hook the way he throws it. He'd be gone every time. So did Raleigh was, right? Did you see that interview of Ryan Garcia that I sent you? Did you watch that one? Damn, that would have been a good one to recap, dude. Raleigh did an interview the other day. I sent to you on YouTube.
Oh, wait, Ryan.
Ryan, excuse me. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. Ryan.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Yeah. I see bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen it in its entirety yet, no.
Yeah. So he's not bipolar. No. No. Hey, Miguel, the doctor said I had like symptoms. I had symptoms, but was never declared actually bipolar. You can have symptoms of a lot, right? But not have.
Yeah.
It's like saying,
diagnosis.
I have a stomach ache. I might have stomach cancer, right?
Yeah.
Just saying. Or what the fuck are we doing here? What did you just confess on the radio, Ryan?
Yeah, this has all been an act, motherfucker.
Is that what you're trying to? Exactly.
Is that what you've been trying to tell us, fool?
And he still does it though. He goes, "Oh yeah, triggering is like losing fights." No shit. And you want to know something, Ryan? Losing in life, losing in life can make you depressed, homie. Seriously, you lost the fucking fight where you made $40 million that night. Get over yourself. Right? But these are the things that is coming out of his mouth on this interview. He's not bipolar. No, just mentally soft. Just mentally soft. The way he talks about Tank, it's weird. It is a weird. It almost makes you feel like he has multiple personalities, not bipolar. Right? Like there's two Ryans in there. You know what I mean? It's a real weird interview he does. You gotta check it. Everyone should check it out. I'm sorry I don't have it's on YouTube. What is it? The cigar? Yeah, they're doing a cigar one. It's a cigar chat, cigar podcast, something like that. Go look it up, you guys. But you will see from Ryan's mouth himself that he is not bipolar. He doesn't have a mental disorder. So when he starts crying on the microphone about his fucking disorder, he doesn't really have one. He had symptoms. But was never diagnosed properly by anyone that said, "Oh yeah, you're bipolar."
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Let me pull it up here. It's called Cigar Talk.
Cigar Talk.
That's the channel in particular. And I saw it. It's about, let me see here. It's a little under an hour, 54 minutes or so. But yeah, man, just seeing. I don't know. Like, for example, here they are in the studio, right, wherever, and he's got like sunglasses on or something. I don't know if he takes them off throughout the show at all, but
nope.
It's just like, homie, are you on something right now, fool? Like, are you trying to hide something? But oh my, Ryan, he's just digging digging that grave deeper and deeper every time there's a mic in front of him.
Yeah, talks about Oscar. It really doesn't talk too much about Bernard, but he says Golden Boy a few times. Where I think if Bernard had him in the room, he would probably have a change of tune on how he talks about Golden Boy. But weird interview. But the gems that I got out of there were really about the mental disorder, about him really not having it. So why do we talk about it so much when we're talking about Ryan Garcia, right? I think that's something that should be weeded out in sports. Is like, look, if you actually don't have this disease, you shouldn't say that you do. Nobody walks around saying they have fucking cancer when they don't. You understand? No, yeah. But I had a runny nose.
And the ones that do have some serious problems. Like they got some serious mental problems for them to claim they got something that serious.
I'm sure they don't want people just walking around going, "Oh no, well I have your symptoms."
Yeah, I have symptoms of HIV, but I don't have it. Like, okay.
It's so stupid. I was like, bro, did he just say that? And he says it a few times in the interview. It's like he kind of doubles down on the whole. No, I don't really do, but they said I had symptoms of doing it. And then the whole, it's when I lose. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. When we all lose, we get kind of
Yeah.
down, bro.
It's
Nobody
things don't
loses
go
and
my
it's like,
way.
yes.
Yeah.
Did I just get fired from work?
Yeah. It's like, fuck yeah. Did that guy just cut me off in traffic? Fuck yeah. Like, no, that's not how it goes, buddy. Like, this guy just cut me in line at the fucking Burger King. Fuck. No, no, homie, that's not how it works. That guy just beat my parking spot. Fuck you. All right.
Blessings.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Kid turns into fucking Charlie Sheen, like, oh, winning. I'm winning. All of a sudden now.
His dad might want to have a talk to him about being a man, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like, enough of this talk, Ryan, please, okay? Just
Yeah, you're gonna have to take some of these losses on your chin, dog.
yeah. Oh, jeez. Boy. Oh, boy. Well, yes. Back to Mayweather and Tyson. Kind of strange. We'll get some more news as as it develops, of course, and as more information is being released, we'll be able to know where it's going to happen, what venue, city, even the date. But according to this initial post here, 2026. So it's going to be several months before it even takes place. Hell, maybe it happens Super Bowl weekend or something like that, early 2026. Do you know when is Super Bowl? Do you know Super Bowl next year? You know what date it lands on by chance?
Yeah, I think the first 2 weeks of February, if I'm not mistaken, but they might have pushed that because how the season got stretched. They did an extra season now. Extra game. Yeah.
All right. No, I didn't know that. Do you know why? Do you know why they did the extra game? Or the extra?
Because money, gambling was about to take. Yeah, gambling is fucking taking over all the sports. February 8th, first week.
Okay, all right.
Super Bowl 2026 is on Sunday, February 8th, Levi Stadium.
Levi Stadium. Oh, San Francisco. Well, up there, Santa Clara. Yeah. All right. Well, there it is, Floyd. If you're watching, because I know you are. Super Bowl weekend 2026. Allegiant Stadium. Why not? Free on Netflix, guys. But we'll get more news as that unfolds, of course. All right. So one of the stories that I mentioned earlier, again, sometimes throughout the week, I see some stories pop up and I'm like, oh, we'll talk about it. And for whatever reason, I just happen to forget and I skip it. It happened previously with the Top Rank story, supposedly finding a home in with stars. This happened to me recently when I was going through these Instagram posts, and I come across one Jaime Munguia, who actually released an official statement in regards to his positive test or his abnormal findings in his A and B sample from his most recent fight with Bruno Saras. I can't forget the gentleman's name, the French name. But this is his official statement. This is English. Of course, this is translated because I believe he initially released it in Spanish. So he says, over the past few weeks, I have been fully transparent as we work to uncover what led to the results of my May 4th drug test. From day one, I have stated clearly that I did not and would never intentionally take any banned substance. I have built my career on clean competition, respect for the sport, and integrity inside and outside of the ring. I want to thank the WBC for reviewing the complete scientific evidence and confirming there will be no investigation, charge, or sanction. We have been notified by the British Boxing Board of Control that they appointed UK anti-doping agency as the body responsible for anti-doping regulation, testing, investigation, and results management after their review of the full record. They have reached the same conclusion. Well, what's that conclusion? Independent analysis, including testing of my supplements by SMRTL, which is the lab, that's the name of the brand, a WADA accredited laboratory that also processed my A and B samples, along with additional hair and nail testing by world-renowned toxicologist Dr. Pascal Kintz, proved that the positive result was a false positive caused by accidental contamination with pregnenolone, I don't know how to pronounce that, a legal non-banned substance. The levels detected were extremely low, provided no performance advantages, and were fully consistent with accidental exposure. I did not cheat. The science proves it, and I am grateful to the WBC, the BBBFC, and UKAD for acknowledging this truth. Out of respect for the process, my team and I refrained from making our case public, and now that this matter is fully resolved, I am ready to put it behind me and move forward with my career. I look forward to returning to the ring soon. I deeply appreciate everyone, especially my family, team, fans, and sponsors who stood by me through this ordeal. So, according to him and according to all these anti doping agencies and in additional independent labs, apparently this was a false positive caused by accidental contamination of this substance that I cannot pronounce, that according to him is legal, and a non-banned substance, and according to everybody else, of course. But all right. So I know that there's been a lot of talk. I've seen a whole bunch of Instagram posts putting all the guys that Reynoso has worked with Canelo and Valdez and him and Andy and everybody talking about, oh, this guy tested, this guy tested, this guy tested, and they put Munguia along with the rest. But according to this is a false positive here. What do you think of that, Andrew?
First off, it's 6 guys that have been tagged at Reynoso's gym. That's a lot of fighters, right? You don't hear about American or boxing trainers, Robert Garcia, Derek James. You don't hear 6 guys have been popped. It always seemed like they got popped immediately signing with Reynoso. Either he wasn't doing a great job of screening these guys when he signed them to come to his gym, or looking at their supplements, looking at the food that they're eating, however that they were getting contaminated or cheating. He wasn't doing a great job of screening. You're getting nailed fresh off signing up with the team. Just not a good look, right? It was such a bad look that Reynoso himself had to come out and go, all right, look, from here on out, I am taking care of fucking everything. They're not eating unless we cook for them. They're not taking a medicine unless I've approved it. Like, he was feeling the pressure for making a change like that in his gym, right? So it is what it is on the speculation that he was guilty immediately. And just, it's what happens when you have what's been going on with Reynoso's gym. The fight was in Riyadh, man. Riyadh I want it to go away. I want it to be, and it is going to go away. Money makes everything go away. Believe that. A few, what is it called? What is it called when you
zeros on the check?
A few zeros on the check, yeah. We'll help you guys out a little to those other WADA and VADA and all these other guys that need some funding. Write a little letter. I give you a little million. That letter
you can buy yourself some new equipment with this million right here.
Exactly. Trust me. You want a new PP test?
Yeah.
I can buy you
new speakers. You want new test tubes? You want new syringes? You best believe this $1 million check will buy you a lot of that.
We got a little problem over here in Riyadh. We need taken away.
Yeah. Kind of like that scene in that Pulp Fiction when you got to call that dude to come and clean up, right? That's like, hey, we got something going on here in Riyadh. Do you think you can come and give us a couple of... Yeah, sure. I'll be right over there.
Who messed up the drug test? Is it is it His Excellency's guys that are testing over there? Is it some, you know what I mean, commission in Riyadh that's testing, that somehow fumbled the fucking tube and dropped it into some contaminated, or what was it? It's a medicine that's cleared,
so
came up as something else.
Yeah. Pregnenolone. Actually, let me look this up because I don't know what this does, but it's a legal non-banned substance. It's accidental contamination of that, which I don't exactly know what pregnenolone benefits. All right, let's see here. Is a steroid hormone synthesized from cholesterol, acts as a precursor to many other hormones, including DHEA. I don't know what that is. A progesterone and testosterone. While promoted for a wide range of benefits, Robust scientific evidence is primarily found for its effect on brain health and mental well-being. Okay.
Wow.
I'm not clarity. Maybe he needed to be fucking, those listening to those damn instructions that Morales was giving him and he wasn't following, I suppose. But
Some guys get nervous on the brain issue things, right? Oh, so maybe he's taking things to try to help him out. Who knows? Who knows if it's all real? Who knows if it was contaminated? It wasn't contaminated. It's something we'll never know because it happened in Riyadh, and what happens in Riyadh stays in Riyadh. No, that's not it. Whatever we want, Riyadh gets. There you go.
there you go.
So,
well, yeah. So I guess can we cross him off that list of all the other ones that tested positive, or he's kind of on there with a little asterisk?
it's like the eggs. It's like the steak, right? What other creams? The gels,
the tea with Valdez,
the tea. Right? Yeah, it's on that list. Like, oh yeah, he got found. It sucks, but you're guilty by association, right? Like if you're hanging out with the gang, and they're like, oh yeah, we think Andrew did a drive-by. And be like, he probably did. He hangs out with the gang. Yeah. That's what gangs do, right? That's, when you hang out with the gym that got hit with 5 positive tests, and now they're saying you're positive. A lot of people are going to go, no, that motherfucker was positive. Let's stop the bullshit.
Especially if he never tested prior to this. That's like, he's never done it before, and then he joins the gym, and now miraculously, he got some contamination on his A and B samples.
Yeah, very true. Very good point there, too. Yeah. So it sucks, but that's what we live in today. So I don't think his name is going to be on there with the asterisk. Yes, sir.
Damn, Munguia. We tried. We tried to clear you from this, bud, but you're not doing yourself any favors by going this direction here. Do you think he's gonna stay with the Reynosos after this bullshit? Like, do you think, all right, everything once the heat kind of cools down a little bit, like, all right, clearly he's gonna continue with his career, right? He's still a young man, so he's got some length on his career still ahead. How far he ascends is still another story because I think he's probably capped at this point. Right. But regardless, he's gonna continue fighting. You think he stays with the Reynosos after this?
He should. They're the best in the business as far as getting fighters out, right? Other guys have tested positive, stayed with them. They seem to get over it, move on. So, and he's a look. I always say I think Andy Ruiz and Ryan Garcia, was cultural differences is why they didn't make it in those gyms. I just don't think it's the same, right? Reynoso does not. Maybe if he speaks English, it's very broken. It's not fluent. So there's a language barrier there, especially with Ryan. I think Andy knows Spanish, but Ryan doesn't.
I've heard Andy speak Spanish before, so I know he does.
It could very well be half Spanish, right? It could be he's not using the right terminology and all this, where they're still going what, and he's got to explain himself in other ways to get his point across. Could be a lot of that going on. I'm just saying it seemed more cultural why those two left than anything else. And I think Munguia, coming from Mexico, knowing it's his first language and all that, I think he fits in a little better as long as they get over this fucking dirty test shit. No, you stay with Reynoso. They do the best, and we're move on. So no, I think he stays. That's my answer.
All right, that makes sense. I would like to see him back in the ring soon, especially after all this shit that happened. We've talked about this. As a matter of fact, I think he mentioned it in his post-fight interview in the ring after his win. Actually, on that topic, it's going to be a quick little side story, but I would like to see him in there against somebody like Caleb Plant, who just came off a loss. So it seems like it's going to be in his favor to do so. Somebody like that, or even Berlanga or something like that, which also is coming off a loss. So that is in Munguia's favor, I think. So Munguia should go after any one of those guys. His recent win over Saras, I don't know, was that overturned? Like, is that going to be turned over again? Like, I wonder how that's going to happen, because it was initially turned into a no contest, right, because of these positive tests. Now that it turns out that it was, accidentally contaminated, does that clear his name entirely? And does that fight go back to a victory? I'm not even sure if they switched to begin with. You remember?
I'm not sure they switched it, but it absolutely gets switched back if they did, because right now it's not a cheat. They're saying he's cleared of any wrongdoing. If it was
Oh, sorry, real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I just pulled it up real fast on Wiki. I don't know how, I know Wiki is not exactly the most accurate and up to date, but it still is considered a win in that most recent fight there. I'm going to see if there's anything different on BoxRec, but according to, at least Wiki, that victory, his most recent one over Bruno Soros, still stands as a victory.
And really, Miguel, that's true because they wouldn't have switched it until this investigation
Ah,
was
I see. I
done.
see.
Yeah, yeah. Because he gets a penalty, right, and he gets the win taken away after both the investigation's over. It's like what
Mhm.
happened to Ryan.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah, because I thought about that and I was like, damn, I wonder if they even switched it to begin with. But no, I guess they didn't. They left it as it is. But good news, I suppose, right? You get to whatever suspension, if there is any, will be nullified, I guess, at this point. And, we hope to see Jaime Munguia back in the ring soon. And he can continue his career with this being a little bit of a blemish on his career, right? Nothing beyond that. Okay. So one of these other stories that I'm not really sure what to think about it. I initially was pretty excited about it, but now I'm a little like, I really have to go this direction. It turns out that we might Lamont Roach Jr. versus Isaac Cruz. Pitbull Cruz. According to this post here, this is by his name is Chava something. I forget his last name. Rodriguez, I think. He's a boxing analyst with ESPN Deportes. He reports that it looks like, as of right now, Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach is being eyed for December of this year, according to Chava Rodriguez here, from ESPN Deportes. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, you know what? Okay, fuck yeah. We've talked about it a few times already. The best thing for Lamont Roach to do is completely forget about Tank at this point and just fucking move forward. Last week or the week before, we talked about the rumors, hearing of the rumors that Lamont Roach is going to be suing Tank Davis. We don't know. We haven't heard anything since then, so who the fuck knows if there's any truth to that at all. But hopefully that isn't true, and this is, because we've talked about it before. The best thing that Lamont could do is just completely move forward and basically help the rest of boxing to forget Tank, essentially at this point, right? It's like, let's just move on and let that motherfucker do his retirement / exhibition with Jake Paul over there, and Lamont Roach can continue. Of course, we all would prefer that he fight somebody like Shakur Stevenson. Now, at some point after his recent, posts, Lamont Roach posted something along the lines of the duck, right? Basically, like laughing and saying, "Haha, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. You guys knew that he was a duck," and posted that post of the four ducks. So it was obvious that at that point he's going to end up, moving forward. But we thought he was going to stay at 135 because, quite frankly, that would have been cool. The two guys that ultimately didn't fight, Tank, Shakur, and Lamont, end up fighting one another. That'd be fucking badass. A recent post of his said that he was even thinking about going up to 140, which looks like it's going to be the case because, yes, Pitbull Cruz, even though he's as short as he is at 140. His most recent fights were at 140 against Rolly Romero and Valenzuela. So it looks like Lamont Roach is going to be moving up to 140, at least according to this post here, if this is true, to fight Isaac Cruz. I'm down with this one. Again, I'm a little like, this is kind of a consolation prize because I would much rather see Lamont fight Shakur. But hey, fighting somebody like Pitbull Cruz, hey, you know what? Pitbull comes, he throws down. He comes and he doesn't, he doesn't hold back. He's the kind of guy that moves forward, and whether or not he's going to be able to catch Lamont is another story. Of course, we've seen how his fight with Valenzuela went. So, I'm on the fence. I really, really would have preferred to have seen Lamont fight Shakur, but hey, this is not a bad second place here. What do you think about this, Andrew?
It's not a bad fight. I agree with you on that. For a diehard fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much marketability Isaac lost in his last defeat to Jose Valenzuela.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he's at with the Mexican people right now. Like, what I'm trying to say is, if they do this as a main event on its own card, is this thing going to sell?
Okay.
I don't know if Roach has crossed over. I don't know if that one fight with Tank is going to make him Tank, right? He's going to make him the new sellout guy. We know Tank was selling out arenas when they fought. Isaac, while he was hot at a certain point, looks to have fizzled out extremely a lot, extremely a lot. Just seems to have fizzled out a lot, bro.
The extremeliest.
Yeah. Shut up, Miguel. So it's like, where do they put this fight at? When do they put it? I think if it's a co-main event, excellent. Especially if it's under a card that already has a great main event, right? This is an excellent co-main event. We're able to hype this thing up. But to try to hype this up as this being the only fight on the card, the main event itself, I think it's a hard sell. So it's a good fight for the diehards. I don't know if this is the fight. To me, this seems all El Heyman-ish. This doesn't seem turkey.
This is PBC to the bone.
This is PBC all the way, right? Tim Tszyu is going to be on the undercard. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
So that I'm not looking forward to. I feel sorry, kind of bad for Roach that he didn't get a bigger opportunity out of this. But it's just got to win this fight and move on. You know what I mean? Just go on to the next one. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen him strike a little bit hotter with where he was after the Tank debacle that they had.
So when you say Isaac Cruz has kind of fizzled out a little bit, you're talking specifically in regards to his popularity and basically where he stands amongst people, because this doesn't make him any less dangerous of a fucking fighter, because there's still going to be quite a risky fight for Lamont Roach regardless, right? I mean, he's coming off of that draw with Tank. Granted, that didn't exactly make him Tank. It didn't take Tank's place really, but that he's still to some degree kind of still sizzling. You know, people still talking about Lamont Roach. So we're hoping that he would fight against somebody like Shakur, but that isn't going to happen. This is still a pretty dangerous fight. It's pretty risky. I mean, he's not, granted, it's not against the guy that we want him to go up against, but he's not fighting no dude who's just going to be, an opponent. Granted, Cruz might be the B-side here, but it's like, he's not fighting no easy fight. He's fighting a guy who's going to go in there. It's almost the less technical equivalent of Cepeda, really.
Right. No, of course. It is not going to be an easy fight for him. He's moving up in weight. Cruz is the B side. Can't overlook him, right? So it's definitely a hard fight. I'm more is, does the risk fit the reward? That's more of where I was going with this one. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of, because if they put this on pay-per-view, Miguel, it's not going to generate shit.
I don't think it will be. Okay. If it does how can I explain? If it is put on pay-per-view, which we can damn near be sure that PBC is going to, it's not going to be the main event. That you can pretty much guess. It'll be somebody else. I mean, it'll be crazy if it's Tank, but it's not Tank. I obviously know it's not Tank, but it'll be anybody else.
Benavidez, maybe.
Well, Benavidez has that fight with Yarde, right? When is that? November?
Oh, Yarde. Yep, you're right.
Yard, where the fuck his name is. So, I mean, really, who the hell else do they have? Is it going to be October is Fundora and Thurman, right? So, I mean, they only have some
That would be hot. That'd be a hot card, bro.
But it's too soon, though. We're like already in October. These guys we're barely hearing this now. If this is not a pay-per-view like fight, if it's not a co-main event or on that type of pay-per-view card, then it has to be one of the free ones on Amazon Prime.
That would be cool if it was free. As long as they push it right, we push it right. That would be awesome if it was on free for Amazon Prime. Really liked it matched up with Fundora too, because Fundura's, already got a little fan base of himself, and you put Isaac on the bottom of it.
Yeah, that would be badass. I'm pulling it up here. I forget what specific date is coming up, but his fight with Thurman is October something. I forget, October 22nd or something like that. But that would be. I realize that it's too soon.
It's not that soon. If they were like already in fight mode, say both of them were already preparing to.
October 25th. That gives us more than 6 weeks. Was it? Doesn't that usually like a training camp?
Yes, and it's an undercard. You know what I mean? It's not like they're the main event where they need a press tour and all this stuff. They're the undercard.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
So it would be cool, but no, you're right. It's probably a little bit too close. But yeah, I definitely agree that I would want to see this as a co-main. Don't try to push this on us as an $80 pay-per-view. I will not buy.
No, it definitely is not going to be that. The only ones they put on these $80 pay-per-view ones have been Tank, and maybe
So
even
what will you
Charlo.
think they charge? 60?
No, I don't think it'll be pay-per-view at all. I think it's going to be one
Oh,
of the,
okay, got
yeah,
you,
it'll
got
be
you.
one of those regular Prime Video ones. Because I'm kind of going through some of like the PBC's website right now to see if there's anyone that's of name value that would. Why the fuck they still have Devin Alexander on here? What the hell? Is he still fighting shit? Um, but it's just weird. So one of these other names that have a little bit more of name value that they can put as the main event. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Oh, you know what? Hold the fucking front door. Didn't we hear some time ago that Manny's coming back in December?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Like
yep,
maybe like a Manny Raleigh or Manny Barrios
excellent.
rematch or some shit like
Yep,
that. Would be a killer co-main
yep,
event for that, huh?
yep.
Ah,
That's a
Al, if
good
you're
one.
listening, anybody who's involved with BBC, if you're listening, guys, toss this one under a Manny Pacquiao as a co-main event under a Manny Pacquiao card, and we got yourself a pretty decent card. Still wouldn't pay no $80 for it, but you know me, I would have fucking paid anyway. Not just saying, just saying. I don't know
It
if I
was
said.
all real right there, the way you did that.
Yeah,
You know me.
yeah. I'm not gonna fork him no fucking $8 for no fucking 52-year-old Manny, but I'm just saying. All right, but interesting. It'll be a good fight. I'd be down and watch that one, and maybe it'll put a little bit more. It'll bring back a little bit of the sizzle for one Isaac Cruz that has fizzled out a little bit after his ass whooping of Rolly Romero. Okay, one of our last stories here because again, there's only so much news to go around. It turns out, and we're not the kind of people that like to talk about other people's money, but this happens to be one of the stories that popped up. It was reported. I believe it was maybe 2 weeks ago that Gervonta Davis was prepared to make roughly $200 million in his fight with Jake Paul. Now, when I first heard this, I was like, hell fucking no. There's no way in hell. Who in their right mind would fork up any of this amount of money to give this dude and just him? They would already be that amount of money in the red for crying out loud. I was even talking about it with my dad. I'm like, Dad, can you believe who writes? I mean, that's like, is there nobody paying attention to who posts this crap? Like, who the hell is posting this crap? So turns out we were pretty much right because no, he's not going to make that kind of amount of money, or at least according to this next post here. New reports are suggesting that Gervonta Davis is now set to earn between $40 million. What's this between? I don't know why. To earn roughly $40 million when he faces Jake Paul in November, not the $200 million that was previously reported. Now, obviously, that comes to shock to absolutely nobody. That is definitely not comes as a shock to us because we knew ain't nobody gonna pay that amount of money for that motherfucker, especially that kind of exhibition bout. Quite frankly, $40 million even seems a lot. That seems a lot because we've seen so many of these false reports. One even saying that Gervonta's deal with Amazon Prime Video guaranteed him 35 million or something per fight, and people were like, "Damn, this fucker's balling." Well, I don't think that turned out to be the case either. But $40 million is a nice payday for this glorified sparring session that he's going to be having with Jake Paul, which maybe at the end of the day, and mind you, says here that this is the amount that he could be making or most likely is going to make. I have to assume that's going to be what after everything is said and done and not like his guaranteed purse. Did we see this? I don't think we've seen this, but it's not going to be on free Netflix, is it? Or is it going to be? Because I don't think we've heard as far as venue goes or I don't know, I think it said like Atlanta, right? I think it said Atlanta, but
Yeah,
I don't
Atlanta.
remember. Yeah. So it's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, but I don't remember if it said it's going to be on pay-per-view or it's going to be on some sort of Netflix or something like that. But this seems a little more like it, right? This seems like more reasonable, not no damn 200 million, more like 40 million. And quite frankly, even this seems like quite a lot. But what do you think about that?
I think 40 million's the maximum guaranteed he would get if everything was to sell right. Right. So I think there's like they bring out the numbers, they put it in front of these guys and they go, if we hit this mark and if we sell these many tickets and if this many countries buy into your guys' fight, this is with the potential you're going to be guaranteed money you're going to walk out of here with, or you know what I mean? This is the highest you're going to get. But do you ever hit those marks? And they do the same shit in football, bro. They really do.
Oh, really?
When you hear these 5-year deal with 300 million, 150 million attached. Bro, it's if they make it to the Pro Bowl. It's if they win a playoff game. It's if they throw 70% of the passes. If they're in 90% of the games.
What? Really? No shit.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Oh, damn, yo, I didn't know that. Fuck.
Yes, there's hella marks at these players. That's why the players get all pissed off. Sometimes the coaches, if they're losing, right, they say their season's in the gutter, they're not going to the playoffs, the fucking owner will tell the coach, hey, the linebacker that needs 17 more catches for another $2 million, sit his ass. I ain't giving him $2 more extra $1 million. We're not even going to the fucking playoffs. Sit him. Then that guy starts getting, that's when you start seeing them come out in the public like, man, they're fucking benching me. I didn't want to be benched, or I wasn't injured. They're saying I'm injured. Nah, it's all fixed, dude. They don't want to give them their max money on their contracts for that year. So that's how all sports contracts are. Yes, there's some guys that get guaranteed fucking money because they are the man. Their jerseys sell, their tickets sell. Like, they can prove on paper these guys are going to make you this amount of money every year. You have to give my guy this guaranteed purse. And the owner goes, yeah, of course. It all is correct. They will guarantee you this amount. Everybody else has no guarantee that they're going to do shit. No, you're all on incentives. Is that how they say that? That's all. Yeah, it's the whole contract is built that way. I'm telling you, some of them, they get like $1 million if they go to the playoffs, bro. Yeah, that's why the guys are all jumping up and down on the fan because they made it to the fucking playoffs. You dumbasses.
It's because that check just cleared.
That check just fucking cleared. That's right.
Fuck. That direct deposit just hit the damn escrow, son.
And people are in the streets flipping cars.
Yeah, throwing fucking those Molotov, what are they called?
Cocktails.
Cocktails. There you go. Those sons of bitches. So realistically, do we think he's going to reach that amount? I mean, I know that's probably the max guarantee. I mean, I was saying the word guarantee is not the right word, but it's like the max potential that he can get to. Do you think he'll get there? Do you think that's going to be that? I mean, I think he's going to come short of that. Maybe 20 if we're being lucky. I don't think it's going to reach 40.
If they don't try to sell this thing by making some kind of storyline, and I'm not saying racist, I'm just saying they have some kind of altercation, something that makes all their fans go, oh shit, did you see Tank and fucking Jake Paul get into it today? And make it look real. You know, Canelo slapping Caleb Plant and cutting his cheek or his eye. That was pretty real. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, that got serious. They need something like that. If they just think they're going to go in there smiling with each other, Tank's doing this to his chin because he's so fucking small. You know what I mean? No one's going to buy into it. It's going to look like a circus act. They've got to somehow sell it. And yes, I do think they have the fan bases that will definitely tune in if they sell this thing correctly. And I'm just saying a fight, just some kind of pushing, shoving match between the two. Jake should go heavy on this dude's fucking little. I'm gonna beat his little ass. Get all
They're gonna do a face off, and it's gonna be like, well, like looking over his fucking over his head.
And really get Tank, you know, to fucking get him a little emotional, get him a little personal, get it to where it's real. You know what I mean? Can't be fake. And look, I'm sorry, Jake. There's a lot of videos of it coming out lately that you guys are setting up fights. It kind of sucks for you. You even said, oh, I'm gonna start suing people that say it. Well, you better start suing. Because the videos are out. They got Mike on hot mics everywhere talking about you gave them $10 million not to punch you. They got you on a hot mic in the ring telling them to calm down, and like the next punch, Mike pulls back, doesn't even throw it. They got your brother telling fucking Floyd on a hot mic in the ring, hey, chill, bro, or something like that. Did you hear that one?
No.
Yeah,
I got one right now with Terrence Crawford on here, which we'll get to in a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, he tells them to chill. Fucking, this is an exhibition, and like he's pushing them away or something like that. It's like, all right, so are you guys fixing these fights or are you not? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really interested if these stories that are going to keep hitting is that you're paying dudes to lay down. That's fucking bullshit. It just is. I'm barely in, dude. I'm barely in. Don't ruin it for me.
I think they look, and this should be no secret at this point to everybody. I've already mentioned it many times. When I was a kid, I was a humongous wrestling fan, right? And to some degree, I still am. I still watch the old stuff because it's cool to watch it. And I always thought to myself, like as a grown up, I'm like, this is a theatrical, exhibition of a legitimate sport of wrestling, collegiate wrestling, Greco-Roman freestyle wrestling. But this is just, obviously a more fantastic or fantasy type of thing. I always thought to myself, like, what? This is such a unique form of television entertainment, pro wrestling, WWF, whatever. It's it's like, what other sport can they do this with? Like, they can't do it with the NBA. They can't have that, right? Vince McMahon himself tried it with the XFL and football, but that only goes so far, right? They can only fix so many things. And I'm like, fuck, it's happening in boxing, for Christ's sake. This is the shit. Like, this is the kind of outlandish characters that we're seeing. And it's literally, I mean, if this is legitimate that these fights are being staged, then it's basically that. It's basically the WWE of professional boxing, of professional prize fighting. That's right here. These guys just going at it in a glorified sparring session. This was brought to Terence Crawford's attention recently, and he's a little perplexed about this. I'm going to read this quick little article. It's relatively short here. The excitement level for Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis isn't quite there for boxing great Terence Crawford. Paul, a YouTube star turned yada yada yada, nothing too crazy, right? It's just blah 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 blah. So going on to what what's his name? Crawford said specifically here. He says, "I have no reaction." They asked him, like, "What do you think of this?" He says, "I have no reaction." Crawford told Full Send. Full Send is the media outlet that he was talking to at the time. I don't know what's going to happen when a 135 pounder goes up against a 200 pounder. If it's scripted, then it's going to be good for them and fun for the fans to watch. The fight is said to be an exhibition, not a professional contest, for 10 rounds, for 10 3-minute rounds at 195 pounds. Crawford doesn't see this being much of a fight. It's more of a show or a business move. So he says, he goes on to say, I think they're going to go in there and just spar pretty much. Like, I don't think it's going to be an actual fight. Like, you try to go kill me and I'm trying to kill you. It's like, no, it's not that. It's going to be like, let's go in there and get this money, and it's more of a business tactic. So he clearly knows that this is not going to be a legitimate fight, right? He obviously is seeing that, but he's saying, if this is one of those fixed fights, well, good for them, I suppose. But it's so not even a blip on his radar. He's like, whatever, fuck it. But it's kind of funny that he says this. He says, or at least what the people here on this website are saying, it's going to be an exhibition. We know that. It's going to be 10 rounds. Okay. I'm not sure if Jake has gone 10 rounds in any of his previous fights. If they've been 8 rounds before, I'm not sure. I'll have to look back. Maybe his fight with Tommy Fury might have been 10 rounds. I don't remember right offhand. But it's going to be at a limit of 195 pounds, which even still is big. If I remember correctly, I think when Jake Paul fought Anderson Silva, I believe the weight limit was 190, so he can make it. But if this is just an exhibition, we know it pretty much looks like Jake is on some sort of juice, so he's going to be able to make this weight no problem, 195. But that's kind of crazy. I had never heard that. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, if it was going to be 2-minute rounds or it was going to be 8 rounds or anything like that. But now this website here is mentioning that it's going to be 10 rounds, 3 full minutes at 195 pounds. So even Terence Crawford himself is skeptical that this is a legitimate fight. Yes, granted, it is going to be an exhibition. We get that, but it's going to be more of two guys basically sparring and not going at it. At least that's what he suspects. So there's yet another guy, in the inside, I guess, an actual professional boxer who doesn't believe the stuff that we're seeing with Jake Paul is legitimate.
Yeah, and that's why selling the fight is the most important thing, because nobody's believing it, and I think more that you hear these videos with Mike Tyson talking about an extra 10 million they gave him, is only going to damper Jake Paul's rise in the sport. As far as popularity, it's going to be capped out to just his fan base, where he was pulling in a guy like me, right? I kind of hated Jake Paul in the beginning, thought this was all bullshit. Now I'm like, well, we got to give him his place. Definitely don't need the paid. I'm not looking for entertainment. I'm looking for fighters, right? So it's we'll see what happens. I haven't paid for a Jake Paul fight yet. I won't be starting on this one. So it is what it is. I was hoping that they would at least get me interested in making it a personal matter of maybe big guy versus little guy, right? And just Jake clowning him so much let's just see if Tank can land a shot from where he's at and it can hurt him. We give a lot of fucking kudos to the small guys out there, right? They'd go to the club a little extra hot that night, right? Like, fuck
Yeah.
you, motherfucker. You see what Tank did to fucking Jake Paul? So,
Like, I'm left-handed too, motherfuckers. Be careful. Is he going to do to short people what Andy Ruiz did to fatties? Pretty
yeah.
much it'd be like, well,
Yeah,
you feel that
there you
motherfucker?
go.
You see how heavy it is? And he knocked the shit out of Joshua. Yada, yada. Like, bro, not everybody can do that. Relax. It's not like
Yeah,
you can do that.
exactly. Yep.
To add more to this is what's his name? Crawford goes on to say, Jake is too big for Tank in reality. Crawford explained, Tank is very talented, can punch hard, and is explosive, and the whole 9 yards. Jake can punch with his right hand. I've seen him close and personal. The dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is. He can punch. That's why a lot of people think that there were times where he could have laid it on Tyson, but they kind of held back at the same with Tyson himself. So obviously he even himself says it looks like Jake Paul can hit pretty hard. He can throw down. At least he can crack. And it's obvious that he did hold back a little bit with Tyson, as Tyson did with him, which leaves it or gives even more credibility to the fact that, or to the, I guess, the implication that the fight with Tyson and himself was more staged than anything else. I guess not the only fight. Go ahead.
That fight with Tyson was definitely staged in the simple fact that Mike was 60. Like, let's stop comparing the Mike Tyson fight to anything, because he was fucking 60 in a knee brace. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was fixed from the very beginning. Even if they gave him another 10 million so he wouldn't land a hard punch, it was already fixed because of his age and his injury. That being said, we got to go to the two fights that he actually fought someone with potential boxing skills and a career. And those two guys are Tommy Fury and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And in those two fights, Jake Paul did not look good. Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury. He didn't even beat the kid. Never rematches him. Acts like it's Fury's fault. Might be. I don't know. Rematch never happens. When there's a will, there's a way. You have the money to make it happen. So I'm blaming Paul. But whatever. Moving on. Chavez Jr., I'm sorry, dude. That fight was a walking heavy bag until I say go watch round 7 to 10. And it looked like Chavez is fucking bringing it to Jake.
Wait, did they go 10? Did they go 10 or did they go 8?
Even if it went 8, watch the last 2 to 3 rounds of that fight.
All right.
Because I don't know.
Because I'm trying to remember. This is scheduled for 10. I don't remember if Jake has gone 10 before.
He is going for a title, so eventually he is going to have to pick up the. Remember, that was a cruiserweight interim, blah blah blah. So it might have been 10, bro. But either way, Chavez showed that he had flaws. He didn't know how to punch in between punches. He didn't know how to block and counter. Chavez was hitting him with the left hook when he was trying to attack Chavez. There was openings. Tank is the best at counter punching, right? Give a fuck if he's 5'4" or not. He's going to see you slip, drop your hand when you punch. You're going to do something where Tank's going to be like, oh, okay, I can set that up. He's fast. He hits hard. He's a pro. He's a good pro on top of it. No, I think Jake has a lot of flaws that Tank will be able to rebound on and hurt him. And that's why I hope this thing was real. Because it would be cool to see if a 135-pound man could knock the shit out of a steroid 195-pound man. That would be cool. So let's do it. If you're making the money, you say you're a boxer, you want to go for titles, let's do it. Tell this little dude, fucking give me your best shot, little man. See what happens. I bet you Tank knocks him the fuck out. Yeah. But will it be real?
Right. And is there money in Tank knocking him out? If there isn't, that ain't gonna happen. We can damn near be guaranteed that that is not going to happen. You talked about it earlier. It was just now starting to pull you in. This Jake Paul story, right? And we have to give credit where credit is due. A lot of what we're seeing now with Netflix is probably because of Jake Paul, right? So at the very least, if nothing else, there's that. It will be some crazy shit if boxing explodes after this because of the Netflix deal, and then 10 years down the line we find out that all these Jake Paul fights were fucking staged, right? It's like, this fake shit is what got us on the stage here. So for better or for worse, it got us that. But again, that would mean I got to pay for this shit. So unfortunately, it's not gonna go down.
Right.
But anyway, just fine. I thought I'd throw that last story in there about him only making 40, or it looks like it has the potential to make 40. Whether or not he'll actually make it is another story. And I don't even know what streaming service, or what, if it's going to be pay per view, or what the fuck is going to happen with that one. But considering we're seeing the success of stuff on Netflix, I wouldn't be surprised if this one lands on Netflix as well, which I believe is going to happen. When did they say? November, I think, right? November something in Atlanta. So we're going to find out here very soon. I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of press tour or something along those lines, right? That's going to lead to that fight. So I assume that once, maybe they're waiting for the Canelo, excitement and whatever fire and all the buzz around that kind of calms down, so they can at least have the spotlight to themselves, and then they can start, really advertising the fight and going on with the press tour and stuff like that. So maybe they're just waiting for Canelo to be done with it, and then we'll be back into these exhibition bouts. All right. Well, that pretty much covers everything we have to talk about. As I mentioned, it is fight week, so stay tuned. We're going to have some stuff on that. Thursday will be our next show. I am going to be down at the Fontainebleau recording whatever I can record. Maybe even the weigh-ins on Friday if I can make it down to that. I will be grabbing the new, freshly printed, updated sheets of the odds for Canelo Crawford, along with the prop bets, because more often than not they have them there. So I'll make sure to have those come Thursday. But Andrew, was there anything else you wanted to add to this before we call it a show?
Yes. The photo circulating the internet right now of one Terence Crawford. Do you believe it, or is it AI?
Well, I've seen some Photoshop ones. I have seen those.
Yeah.
However, I don't think this is that. I don't think so. I do think, and again, we'll go into more depth on it on Thursday, because I have my suspicions, I have my theories, but this is usually what happens, with, at least with bodybuilders. Again, I'm always going to go back to that, because that seems to be the easiest way that fighters can bulk up, is the surplus of calories, the additional creatine, whatever, right? These additional supplements. And that is usually how these guys bulk up. So towards I guess fight week, or maybe like a week before, they start to slowly start reducing the calories and slowly start reducing the carbohydrates, and that tightens their body up quite a bit, because it lets go of a lot of excess liquids, excess fluids. So it makes them look a lot more ripped, and more often than not. And bodybuilders, they put on that fake tanning stuff, right? He's already a dark guy, so I'm sure you can see the cutness a little bit more because of his skin complexion. So I think that picture's legitimate. I've seen some of the fake ones where he's just humongous, and it's like, all right, come on, take it easy. But the one that I've seen that looks to be legit, yeah, I think that's legit.
Yeah, that's a good-looking Terence. I gotta say, it's right after a workout, so we do know his muscles are more defined, right? He probably just worked out for hours.
And the lighting, usually the lighting from on top shows that definition like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
just a little trick from the bodybuilder.
Yeah, because I know that what's circulating is someone caught him with no shirt on, I guess, outside like hours later, and he doesn't look as defined, right? So they're like, it's AI, but pretty impressive if it is real. And he looks like he's filling into the super middleweight division. It's gonna be interesting seeing them both on the scale. If they both look the same, because look, Terence is taller than Canelo. He's legit.
Oh, really? I thought they were the same height. No, they were.
No, I think Terence is taller than him, bro. I think Canelo is looking up. That's when I was like, Miguel, I was like, and he has a 4-inch reach advantage. I was like, how fucking small is Canelo, dude? Like, this guy's been fighting big men his whole career, that even a welterweight's gonna come up and be bigger than him. I never knew Saul Alvarez was
okay, but well, at least again, according to Wiki, it's only half an inch. You think that's true? Because it shows Canelo at 5'7.5", and it shows Terence at 5'8".
And it's true, maybe. I don't know. All I can say is I was surprised when our Canelo was staring up at him, right? So then I go to their stats, and he even has a longer reach, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Why is Canelo smaller than literally everybody he always faces? I've seen Canelo in person. It's not like I never have. I just never realized he was as small as he was fighting all these bigger dudes, where even Terence is bigger than you. Even if it's by half an inch, he's 20-something pounds less than you, and he's still bigger than you too. It's crazy that Canelo's gotten so far in the sport, being like, what is his real weight? What should Canelo really be fighting at? You know what I mean? So Take all that clenbuterol steak away from him. And what the fuck is he? No, just kidding. I'm just
Yeah. Get him out of the camp with Reynoso and see what it's really like. But that is kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I did see those pictures. I did see the AI ones and the fake ones, and it's impressive to look at. Yeah, I mean, if you all remember, Chris Bird, when he was a heavyweight, was looking kind of soft. Towards the end of his career, he dropped back down to light heavyweight and looked fucking amazing physically. In the ring, he was flat as fuck and got his ass beat. So looking one way on the scale prior to the fight is one thing. Actually performing with that new added size, etc., is another. Again, we're going to be more in depth with that this Thursday with our prediction show, because I got stuff to say. I'm not going to say it on this show because I got stuff to say. But yeah, that's some cool ass pictures. I want to look at that. If you ever find that picture of him outside where people supposedly, took a picture of him where he doesn't look as cut, I definitely want to take a look at that. But that pretty much does it. And I guess we'll see you guys on Thursday. So for my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. We will see you guys on Thursday. Take care. Peace.